And we are back. The Fuel Up Podcast.
Episode 33.
There you go. We're getting better with this not being in the same place, because before it was like Fuel Up Podcast. Episode 23.
Not sure what episode it is, but now we know because I checked before starting this one.
Yeah. All right, guys. So welcome back. It is another episode, like Joe said, 33. Joe, let's let them know what we are getting ourselves into in this episode.
So this episode 33, which is a special one, double digits, 33, like 22, like 11.
Yes, sir.
I don't know why I brought that up, but it's okay.
Like Patrick Roy.
The greatest goalie, Montreal Canadiens. I don't know, maybe. I'm not sure.
Yeah, maybe. You don't know.
So this episode, we're going to talk about something special that I brought up to Mass like during the week. I thought it would be pretty interesting if we do an episode about Ford versus Ferrari. So I know that the movie came out, like, how long the movie came out? Like, probably 6 months ago, 8 months ago? How long has it been now?
Really? It's more than that, I think.
It's not a year. I don't think so.
Man, the time passes so fast that it's tough to check.
Let's
that
just
out,
say 6 months.
To remember. So
Whatever
Ferrari
it is. Well, Ford versus Ferrari.
versus Ford, whatever. Let's see. When did it come out?
August
2019, yeah. 2019, November 15th.
Okay,
Yeah,
so a year and a couple months.
Yeah, exactly.
So I figured we could do this episode and talk about Ford versus Ferrari. I think it would be pretty cool. Give
Yeah, there's a lot of background story to it,
There is a
because
lot,
if people don't know about it, it's really like it goes way back, and it's not just like today the Mustang. The Italians make fun of the Fords and give it these names and all that. It's been going back for years now. That's why when Joe told me he wanted to do this, I didn't know much about it, to be honest. I knew they had a thing. There was a thing with racing and all that. I didn't even watch the movie, and I find it's a good topic. There's a lot of backstory. So I think Joe, if you're ready, we should get straight into it. And where would you want to start on this, since you know this better than I do?
So I know for the most part that so basically Ford versus Ferrari is like a lot of Le Mans 24-hour racing, which if people don't know, it's basically the Le Mans track. I think it's in France, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. They do 24-hour racing, so I think the lap count is like 300 or 400 laps throughout the whole day.
I'd say Le Mans is like the pinnacle, especially at that time, right?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
It's the top,
yeah.
Right? Okay.
So now it's kind of like Nürburgring is what they based off like cars and stuff. Well, back then it was the Le Mans 24-hour race. And from what I understand, from like mid 50s to about early 60s, or even along like I would say like
almost 70s.
Well, when the Ferrari Brilliante came out, which was that skinny Ferrari, I think that was in the 20s or 30s. Anyways, that took over like racing. Well, that's how Ferrari grew its name.
Yeah, that's how they made the team, the Ferrari racing team. Exactly.
And I know that in the 50s, they were like insane at racing anyways. Like that's how the company made money.
Yeah.
And I also know that, well, I searched it anyways, that Ferrari had to generate more money for the racing team, so they started making road cars.
Yeah.
So that's how Ferrari road cars came about, that they basically needed to generate money for them to be able to race, so they had to sell cars to the public to make money.
Yeah. People thought it was the opposite. A lot of people think it's the opposite, that they were building cars and then they went into racing, but no, they were... Well, Enzo Ferrari was a race car driver, and he was focused on racing and only racing and his racing team. He wanted to have the best racing team in the world. That's what was his point. So that's why a lot of people think that maybe it was cars first, because most people come out with cars first, then they come out with their F1 team or whatever team they're looking for. But him, it was the opposite. Him, it was all about racing, and that's all he cared about. So interesting man, even Enzo Ferrari, man.
Yeah, apparently he was a savage. That's what I read. I don't know. Don't quote me.
Oh, yeah.
But apparently he was a savage. So, yeah, they were making cars for the street to be able to race. And I know that Ford wanted to get into racing, but they also wanted to expand their building of cars. Because I think at that time, the Mustang wasn't out yet.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. Because this was like around 1960.
Yeah, exactly. 60, 61.
Yeah.
And Mustang came out in 64, 65, whatever it is, 65 and a half.
Yeah, 65, yeah.
So I know that Ford offered to buy Ferrari to expand.
Yeah, this was one of the best stories.
Yeah, to expand to like different markets.
Did you
And
hear how
then-
much and everything? Or?
No, I don't know how much. You know how much?
Okay, so for how much? They basically offered Ferrari $10 million in 1963, which
Okay.
is a very a very good amount. And yeah, so Ford wanted to buy Ferrari in 1963 for 10 million because, like Joe said, they wanted to develop, not basically develop, but have their own racing car or like, you know, high-end for sports car basically back in the day. And Ferrari was the best at doing it, so they said, like, why not go after Ferrari? Because they were, at this time, Ford wasn't doing well versus Chevrolet and GMC. They were doing terrible, like in sales and in everything. They were making, like Giovanni said, there was no Mustang, there's no Bronco. You know, there's none of these cars that we all know today that are like iconic Ford cars. You know, besides I think like was the Pinto around and stuff like that, like those stupid little.
I think
I think that's what they
Pinto was
had.
early 60s, I think.
And that's it. So, you know, they wanted to get into something and get ahead of everyone else by going with Ferrari. Basically, that was their point. And yeah, but that didn't really fall through, right, Joe?
Yeah, exactly. So apparently, from what I saw and read or whatever, they were in negotiating, and then Leah Coco was his name, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, which was like I don't know what he was. I guess CEO, whatever. Well, it was Henry Ford, not Henry Ford, but
Henry
Edsel
Ford
I think.
II, yeah.
No, Edsel Ford, I think, or Henry Ford. I don't know.
It's Henry
Anyways.
Ford II that did the dealing with.
Yeah, exactly. So they sent Leah Coco, which I think he was like CFO, or I don't know, he was CEO,
Yeah,
whatever the company.
yeah. I read that
And
too.
told him to go fuck himself, basically. And
Do you know exactly what he said? Because I have it written down. It was pretty funny.
yeah, tell the guy like he's fat or something like that.
He told him he was fat. He goes, I don't want to make a deal with a fat American because that's typical Europeans with Americans. And Henry Ford II was told that he made. Enzo Ferrari, like straight out of his mouth, told him that he makes ugly cars in ugly factories. So I will never sell my part of Ferrari to someone who makes ugly cars in an ugly factory and call them fat. And on top of that, you know, answer him back pretty rudely. And if you know the story right after that, not long right after that, they sold to Fiat. 50% of their shares went to Fiat, literally, like a month or two later, like not much, like right after they said no. And also the other reason why Enzo said no, the main reason why he said no wasn't because of the money, wasn't because of anything like that, was because Ford said, we buy Ferrari, we buy everything, we control everything, we make the final decisions, we're the bosses. And Enzo didn't want that, once again, because we're going back into his racing days and racing, everything's racing for him. He said no because he wants to be head of his racing team and development of performance and racing. So he said no, basically because of that, because he said, no, I want to be the boss of my cars being built for performance. You guys could do whatever the hell you want with the road cars, with this and that, but I just want to take care of our division that he's always taking care of. And Henry Ford didn't want, so Enzo Ferrari lashed back with those kind words, and that's basically the feud that they always had. That's how it started, right?
Pretty much. And then when that happened, from what I understand, Henry Ford II, yeah, like you said before, was basically like, he's like, okay, like we can't buy them, let's beat them on the race. So like blank checks just started flying out, and they invested all kinds of money. And then the GT40 was created. Well, the GT at that time was created, and that was like the rivalry started from there, right? Like 1961, if I'm not mistaken. And then
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they went to Le Mans.
They went to Le Mans, yeah, 1961. You're right, yeah.
Yeah, that was the first one. And
but
they were having
trouble. Just Ford, eh? They were just Ford. They were alone. No one else. They made the Ford GT, but not as we know it today. It looked a bit different, and it was a little bit
fatter in the back.
I'd say uglier, but it didn't look too good. So they're trying to win races here, right? This was the point. They're trying to get in, and they're trying to race Ferrari, which is the top team, and they're not even getting close. Like me and Giovanni were just saying that they were by themselves. Giovanni, I think, was about to say they were looking for help, stuff like that. But they had their cars. Oh my God, I was looking up on this. Apparently, every race they ran, they were so unreliable that they never finished a race.
Yeah.
How crazy is that?
Yeah, I know.
Imagine an
Insane.
F1, right? Because F1 is like the pinnacle of racing right now, but it's not cars, it's F1 cars. But imagine one car that never finishes a race not because of crashing, not because of bad luck or because of this, because the engine like keeps blowing, or
Does that
because
exist
the
in F1 right
gearbox.
now? No way.
There was not Racing Point. There was the ones that just
Haas?
is it Racing Point? No, the one. What's his name, man? I just blanked out. That guy from here, Stroll.
Stroll, yeah, okay.
Okay, his cars were having issues. Then after they bought, the Mercedes car,
The engines, yeah.
yeah, and now they're going to Jaguar. So they did a lot of switching around, I think, because of those issues. And I think they wanted to go their own brand and everything. But anyways, that's a different story. But yeah, so their cars were super unreliable, never finished a race. Started to get fed up, so they started searching for someone. And who was that special someone?
Mr. Carroll Shelby himself.
Yep.
So
This is basically the beginning of a crazy era.
yeah, pretty much. Like when they took him, like apparently like he was building the AC Cobras, obviously like racing them.
And he was
stuff.
having success with them already.
Yeah, exactly. So they basically asked him for help and they gave him a blank check. So do whatever you want as long as you
His
win.
own team also, right? It wasn't just like him. He comes on their team. He brought the driver, the team, and everything, right?
Well, Ken Miles, which is like the famous driver for
Yeah.
them, I'm not sure.
I know
if
he
from
came
that
with him.
team or
Yes, I know they were together. They were friends and everything before all this.
not. I know there was also a guy named McLaren.
Oh, really?
Yeah, last name McLaren. There was Ken
Related to
Miles.
McLaren, or?
No.
Oh, okay.
And then there was also Carroll Shelby himself, but he didn't drive.
No.
There were like four or five, I think 5 or 6 drivers, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know the other guys' names that well.
It's true because they have to switch, right? It's 24 hours. Yeah.
Yeah, well, they
Sure.
sent all the cars out, right? All
Yeah.
the beginning, all these
Yeah.
cars start, and yeah, so they gave him a blank check, still change the car, do whatever you have to do, make sure we win, and shit, man, did he ever freaking do it?
Well, he basically have to redesign the Ford GT.
Yeah, they made it lighter, faster, more horsepower.
They made
apparently they did crazy testing on the car
Okay.
to try to make it obviously more agile and make sure it lasts the whole
That was the
24
thing.
hours,
Yeah,
which is the
exactly.
big
Reliability.
problem,
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, well, like now, and the GT4 that we know now is basically like not the final. Yeah, it is like kind of the final result of the car that actually beat them for like
Yeah.
86. I think it's like what 64, 65, 66, 67, and I think
Yeah,
68.
it was like almost
4
all-
years
all-
straight that Ferrari couldn't win.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so they were doing crazy testing, and then on the race of 1964, Ferrari won 63, which was the year before. If I'm not mistaken, I think Ford finished second on that race. Sorry. And then for 1964, Ford put out 6 cars on the track. So one driven by Ken Miles, one driven by McLaren, and the other one's driven by these other guys. I don't know their names.
Okay.
And Ford was so like certain that they were gonna win that they only put 2 cars on the track
Oh yeah. I didn't
on that
hear
race.
this.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then when they started the race, the Ferrari cars both broke down. They never finished.
Oh shit. Okay.
And the Ford cars were doing so many. They were like
Overlapping.
creating such a gap. Yeah, exactly. Creating such a
Okay.
gap that they were gonna win 100%, right? So this is like a fucked up story, but like a point of
Is
the
it-
race that like people
Is this the
don't.
photo?
Yeah, exactly.
But it's 3 cars. It's not 2.
I don't know if it's 3 or 2, but
I'm
I know
sure
that
it's 3 because I know this story. I've heard this story many times, and I even wrote it down here. So 3. They sent out 3 cars. That's why I'm asking you before, because
who sent out
they
to me,
wanted
Ford
the one
or Ferrari?
Ford because they wanted 1, 2, and 3.
I heard they sent out 6 at the beginning of the race though.
Oh, okay, I misunderstood. Then I understood that they sent out 6, and then they only sent out 2 because they were gonna win. So you meant, or I misheard. Then Ferrari only sent out 2,
Yeah,
and they
Ferrari
both
sent
broke
out
down.
2.
And
Exactly.
Ford
Yeah,
was
yeah.
6. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So Ferrari
okay,
thought
sorry about that.
Ferrari was so like the ego was so big they thought they were gonna win, so they sent out 2 cars
Okay,
thinking they're gonna
listen.
win, And Ford sent out 6, but those 2
And how many cars
never
did the
won.
Ferrari have? 6 cars too?
That they don't
I
mention
guess. Yeah, I guess they all have the same amount of cars, or around
that. Yeah, I
the
assume
same
they had
amount.
like 4 or 5, 5, 6 cars.
Wow.
So the whole thing about the photo, which I don't know if people know or not, which I assume you
Yeah.
do know, is that
crazy.
they were almost finishing the race, right? So it was this guy McLaren, which is the other guy in the photo, and Ken Miles.
Yeah.
But during the 1964 year, Ken Miles won the 24 Hours of Daytona, and he won 24 hours of another race, which I don't remember the name of.
I forget, but I know what you're talking about.
And he was gonna win 24 hours of Le Mans, which was gonna be like the triple.
Perfect.
The only driver in the world to do it. Okay. But towards the end of the race, Henry Ford, Ford Company, whatever you want to call them, told both drivers that they have to. The guy in front has to slow down, which was Ken Miles, has to slow down for the other guy to catch up for them, so they could take a photo. That
Yeah,
they're
the
both
other
gonna
two
finish.
basically to be first, second, and third.
Exactly. In the photo, I think you only see 2 of them though.
Yeah.
So Ken Miles apparently didn't want to do it, but after a bit of going back and forth, he decided, okay, whatever, we're gonna finish tied, and he's gonna still get the win as they finish as a tie, right?
Just
So
for a picture.
For a picture, exactly. Which
All
I
this
get
for
it.
a marketing picture, okay?
I get it on Ford's aspect, and I also get it on Ken Miles' aspect, you know?
If I was Miles,
his thinking
man.
was, I know. If I was Miles, I would have stayed to the end of the race. About
I
to
would have
finish.
just pinned it.
Yeah, pinned it, exactly.
It would have been just as nice the picture if it would have been a bit more in front. Like, who cares?
But it is a bit more in front of the picture.
Yeah, I know. But I mean,
One
like,
car's
a
in front,
car
one car's
length,
behind.
you know, like, I don't know.
So apparently the race finishes, and they both finish at the same time. But technically, he didn't win because then the officials of the race wanted to see who covered more of the track.
More ground, yeah, because that's what
More
it goes
ground,
to.
exactly.
Yeah, it's not the laps. It goes by the kilometers or the miles that they've done in total.
Well, for this particular reason, yes.
If it comes for a tie,
yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, exactly. And what happened being that Ken Miles' car was like a couple feet.
A position in front.
Yeah, exactly. Like on the parking when they first started. So he didn't get the triple threat or whatever. Triple threat.
Because of that.
Or whatever.
Because of a picture.
Yeah, exactly.
I would have been so mad. But I would have never done it.
Imagine your whole career for like this
Exactly.
moment.
It's my whole career. I'm the one making you guys win too. Like, it's half me doing it. I'm the one driving this thing. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm not going to slow down. Okay, fine. I'll slow down a bit to make the guy catch up so we can have a nice picture. But I'm sorry. I'm not doing a tie and doing this and doing that. No, thank you. I'm just going to go to win. Especially if it's a thing that no one has ever done. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like it's the last race of the season. We won all of them. Even if you come last and smash the car 6 times and go back out and lose, you're still in first, like a Lewis Hamilton type thing. Then okay, I'd be like, you know what, whatever. But
the thing is, who knows? This is speculation, but who knows what he was told? Like what happens if he doesn't do it?
It's not like today. You don't hear the team radio talk. You don't hear anything.
Yeah, back then you hear shit. Like I'm even surprised they had communication amongst each other.
Yeah.
Maybe during the pit stop or something.
Maybe walkie-talkies or I'm sure they had walkie-talkies back then. And while he's shifting, while he's driving, they talk. I'm sure some shit like that, some dangerous shit like that. But yeah, that's a crazy story. I'm happy that you brought that up because I wrote that down also, and I just couldn't believe that someone would. I don't know. I would never have done that.
It goes to show that they don't give a they don't give a shit. Like it's all for them.
It's all for the money, yeah.
Yeah, and I get they want the photo finish. Like for sure, if I was in charge as well, like I'd want it. If our 2 cars, like let's say we own the team and our 2 cars or 3 cars are both up front. Of course, I want a picture of all the cars like finishing at the same time, right? Like it obviously makes sense. Like it's a sick picture to have, you know, forever.
Yeah, I know, but
to ruin the guy's like legacy, not ruin it, but to prevent it anyways, it's pretty messed up.
Also, what was funny, I don't know if you knew, I don't know if Shelby was there yet. I'm not sure about this. Maybe you might know. But the first race that, he had to be there because Miles was racing. Yeah, exactly. So the first race that he did, basically, I don't know if, well, you know, but let's explain it to the viewers, listeners. This is an old tradition with Le Mans. So basically, it's not like F1 that you're on a starting grid. You know, everyone's there. The lights go out. You're already in your car. The engines are revving. They're like basically on launch control, waiting for the lights to change. Back in the day, and Le Mans I think still today does it. It's like I said, they basically run from one side of the course to their parked car onto the other side, which are still parked in positions, right?
Yeah.
So basically, they gotta run to their car, start their car, and take off, right? Open the door, close the door, take off, and that's it. Problem with that, and Ford's beautiful unreliability at that time, Miles gets into his car, closes the door. What happens? The door doesn't want to close. The latch doesn't want to latch on. So he's stuck driving and racing with a door that's swinging open all the time. And you know, they're like gull wing doors too on that car. It's like a weird door. So you see him in the movie, or even there was people that were showing clips of it and stuff like that. The door's opening while driving. And in the movie, I found it really funny that the Ferrari just drove by him and like giggled and just kept going. Like his pristine red Ferrari that's perfect, that's never breaking down, just drives by him and like winks and says like, "Good luck, Americans." Like, you know, like, nice try.
Yeah, never breaking down, but that race, both cars broke down.
Yeah, exactly.
They couldn't finish the race.
It was I found that hilarious that you're driving and the door doesn't want to close. Imagine you're on the track and you see that.
Well, I think nowadays they would stop the race, right? Like nobody would be able to continue. Yeah. Well, now there's no doors anyways. Well, there is doors actually on the Le Mans cars. I'm almost thinking of F1 because that's like the pinnacle of racing right now.
Me too,
but there is a ton of other divisions. But like DTM or whatever, if the door doesn't close and stuff, I'm pretty sure like, you're not gonna race.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure if it's not security, they call you or they penalize you or something. There's got to be something for sure.
Yeah, they'll just talk. Well, your commander, whoever the guys talk. The guy who talks in the radio, what's his name? Usually.
I don't know, the head of the team leader or something. I don't know.
Yeah, whatever. Like chief officer.
Chief officer. That's it.
But chief.
I'm sure the marshals also call you and to say, hey, your guy's door's open. Tell him to get off. If not, you know.
Yeah, you're penalized for a certain percent of time or whatever. Something I wanted to bring up. Imagine that Ford would have bought Ferrari.
Thank God they didn't.
The deal would have went through.
Thank God they didn't. I like Ford the way they are, and I like Ferrari the way they are.
Yeah, me too. But that's the way we know it now. But now it's 2021.
Well, I'm
50
sure.
50 years ago, would it be the same thing? You know?
No, I'm sure Ferrari won't even like not exist, but like they would have been pushed under. Like they would have put Ford on top. They would have taken one of Ferrari's models and they would have redesigned it, or maybe even asked Enzo to design something for them. But no, I think they would have made it their performance division, call it Ford Performance Racing Division, and they would have just kept like the Ford GT and do like what they did today. Maybe come out with a couple more models, yeah. But honestly, I'm happy with what happened because Ferrari got their name and got their pristineness and their attention to detail and all the beautiful cars that they came out with after because of this. You know what I mean? And I'm sure there was still, the Mustang is doing this and the Mustang is doing that. Then they got the Shelby Mustang in the 67s, you know. I'm sure it burned Ferrari's ass too a little bit, and that's why they started making all these crazy cars like the GTO and all that stuff. I'm sure those are the reasons.
Probably. Well, I'm sure the reason why the Mustang exists is because Ford wanted to create something to kind of take over the market of like.
I'm sure because it was 65,
people.
right? So they probably said, you know what, we need that performance car, so let's make one now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, to push their racing division and stuff, because they won a lot of times until like 1968. Yeah, I think it was the last time they won.
Yeah.
But then it's funny because when Ken Miles lost that race, not lost, he didn't lose it, but he did kind of lose it, but he technically won, and they stripped him of the title or whatever because of his like couple of feet that he was parked ahead.
Yeah.
He died the year after. In testing, yeah, he died the year after testing the new Ford car.
Yes.
So he was never able to win the Le Mans again, right?
On a racetrack, right?
Exactly.
Was it a racetrack or was it their testing track and the car caught on fire?
Exactly.
Exactly. And his son was there. Yes. I remember reading on this.
So he died the year after because I guess his thinking was maybe, okay, whatever, I lost this year, but I'll win next year and have that like opportunity to win the 24 hours of Daytona, 24 hours of Le Mans, and 24 hours of whatever else the other one is, you know?
Yeah.
But poor guy, the car caught on fire.
That's why, you see, if you would have the stupid picture, he would have already had it done. He would have had everything done.
But then that picture wouldn't exist.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's
Gotta look
true.
at it both ways too, you know?
So I'm looking here because I didn't think of doing it before, and I'm looking at
Shoot.
the cars that won the Le Mans. Basically, before all this, who would you have thought was winning these races? Because if you see, it starts in the 20s, okay,
Yeah.
and the first one is these first cars like a, I don't know what the hell this is. It looks like a Model 30 type of thing. It's called a Chanar and Walker Sport 3-liter. It was a 3-liter, okay? That's funny. So that was the first one. But then after that, you start seeing cars that you know. So the second person who won the Le Mans was a Bentley, believe it or not.
W16 or something like that?
No,
Or
it's
8.4
called
liter?
3-liter Sport. Again, this one too, Bentley 3-liter. That's what they call it. It's one of those,
Is it
those old school
Bugatti that won
cars.
one of them too?
Yeah, Bugatti's on there. A lot of Bentley at the beginning. So Bentley's there from throughout from I'd say 1920 to 1930, and then after it starts from 1930, believe it or not, Alfa Romeo 8C, the old 8C.
What
I don't
year
know if
is
you know what
this?
that looks like. 1931.
Yeah, it's like
So
a little car.
If
but
you
it has
want to
no
see
roof.
this car, it's the Alfa Romeo 8C 2300. They call it. I don't know what that meant, but
Okay.
this car looks so freaking cool. Has the long nose in the front with the
Yeah,
short
yeah.
back, like, old school racing. But
Yes, it's like the Bugattis and stuff.
they won for like 5 years, no, 4 years straight. 4 years straight with that car. Pretty crazy. Like that's it was just something that I thought. Then, like you said, Bugatti, the Type 57G, that also looks
Yeah.
like that Bentley. They all look the same. These cars.
Yeah, the long nose with the short butt in the back. With the
Yeah.
big ass engines.
Then Ferrari came into the picture in 1949.
With the
Which
Berlinetta.
it's they call it here. I don't know if they have different names, and maybe I'm wrong, guys. Ferrari 166S. This is all of Wikipedia. It looks like a Shelby
166,
Cobra. Honestly, it looks like an AMC Cobra.
It has like the grill in the front. The
Yeah, it
chrome,
looks exactly
grill.
like,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So
I see
then
this
in the
car.
50s, now you start seeing Jaguar. The XK, the first XK, the beautiful, that green, again with the long nose in the front,
Long,
the grill.
short butt
Oh,
in the back,
man,
yeah.
nice cars. Then your boys in 1952, Mercedes-Benz came in to play. Now everyone's saying, man, this car's nice. Look,
Which one?
if anybody wants to see it, Mercedes-Benz
Silver Arrow.
W194. Wow, this car is something to, wow. If someone would have this in their collection, that's a car to have, man. So again, 50s, we're getting back to Jaguar. It's all mixed in the 50s though. So the 50s, it starts off Jaguar, Mercedes-Benz, Jaguar again, but their new C-Type. So it looks like the XK, but it's a new C-Type. Then Ferrari's back in it again with the 375 Plus in 1954. And then Jaguar just dominated for 3 years with their D-Type. That's
The D-Type, yeah.
that's the popular. We know this car. We all know this car. But then 50s, I find, was like everywhere. It was like some people were winning 3 in a row. Then after it was all mixed up. You're back to Ferrari at 58. Then Aston Martin came into the party at 59 with a DB-R1. Wow, it's funny hearing these cars that were like at DB9 and stuff like that. And
Yeah, now we're at DB12, I think.
yeah,
or
exactly.
13 pretty
Like
soon, yeah.
it's crazy when you start seeing this. Then 60s, like you said, Ferrari was just unstoppable, man. Ferrari's 1, 2,
What was it called?
3, 4,
P something,
5.
right? I think P0 something.
The Ferrari, they say 250 TR 59 60. Yeah, that was the year like that. Then after it changed to the 330, which is the one that you see in the movies.
The movie,
A
yeah,
lot,
okay.
yeah.
It's a P33, I think, something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Then they had
Yeah.
the P250. Depends the year. They had to change engines and stuff like that. So that's why it had different names. But until 65, okay, until 65, Ferrari won from the 60s to 65. That's like the longest one that I've seen until now for reigning champions. Then after, like you said, Ford GT came in 66. They took that one with the classic blue and orange. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That I love that car, man. That's another car to have with your collection. Like the Golf looking paint job.
Yeah, that's a special livery that you can get on the new Ford GTs.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that one was for 4 years after that. They won 4 years straight, and then my boys came in. Porsche came in with the 917K. You know that car that looks like a car from the future, and it was only 1970 with the the long, I don't know what you want to call it, trunk wing. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. And
What's
that
it
too
called?
had
I'll search it.
the Porsche 917K, like Kellogg. And it has the Golf, basically the Golf Porsche colors. I love
Oh
those.
yeah, I see this car. Yeah, the big
You know
fat
what I'm
car
talking
is
about?
like
Yeah,
flat in the front. Yeah.
Insane, that car.
That's
Then
what, 69?
Yeah, 60. Oh, no, wait, sorry. It started in 70, and then they won 70, 71. And then after it was another company, Matra Simca. I don't know what the hell this is. So in the 70s, it's a lot of random companies, like with Ford engines
Well, I
and
guess
stuff like
the
that.
gas crisis too, right? Like
Yeah,
most
like
car
there was a lot of
companies didn't,
cross-contamination type thing going on here with these cars. 70s again, yeah, Porsche came back. They did a little comeback in the 70s. They won 76, 77. Then Renault came into the picture with 78. Back to Porsche. Porsche, oh my god, okay guys, Porsche started dominating. 70s is all Porsche. 80s all, oh my god, 80s. 1981 to 87 is all Porsche.
The same
Wow.
car?
Yeah, same cars.
Oh my god, thing's a tank.
Yeah, same car, but like tweaked up differently, whatever. Looks a bit. Oh my god, this is the Porsche with the Rothmans. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes. I know what you're talking about.
Okay, so those are the ones. Then again, Jaguar. Oh my god, Mazda. Mazda came into the picture. Peugeot started
Mazda
to
3
come in.
Mazda
No.
Protege?
Yeah, okay, Mazda Protege. Imagine. Then McLaren came into the pictures in the 95 McLaren with the McLaren F1, obviously.
Yeah, of course.
That beautiful McLaren F1 with that BMW engine. Then TRW came in. Yo, TRW partnered up with Porsche.
For real?
That's insane. That car must have been freaking nice.
Don't
Then
they make brakes?
Sorry?
Doesn't TRW make brakes?
Sorry, did I say TRW? I said TWR is what I meant to say. The British team. You know the British car?
Yes. TVR.
No, TWR. Unless
No, I
I'm
don't
thinking
know
of the wrong thing. Yeah, maybe I'm thinking of the wrong thing. It could be, you might be right. TVR is the right thing. Yeah, you're right.
TVR
so
is,
this was just
is
Porsche
like
then.
a flat nose car in the front.
Yo, man, Porsche did their damage here. If you look, Porsche, the
They're still doing
BMW was the
damage to this
first
day.
one they won. And then after 2000s are my boys. Audi R8, Audi R8 2001, Audi R8 2002, Audi R8 2004, Audi R8 2005.
It's crazy that you say Audi
God.
R8 because the Audi R8 only came into production in 08
Yeah,
for
they call it
consumers.
R8, but it's not an R8. It's the Audi R8 Le Mans.
Does it look like the R8 car?
No, it doesn't. It looks like their Le Mans car. Basically, you know the R10 TDI?
R10
You know what I'm talking
TDI.
about? Audi
It's
R10
like
TDI. It's
the
a
long-looking one?
Yes.
Okay.
So basically, it was that car. They called it the R8 first, and they called it the
call
R10.
Okay.
So from 2000 all the way to, yo, I'm not even exaggerating right now. To 2014 is all Audi, besides like 1 or 2 years.
What's 2015?
And 2014, by the way, is the R18 e-tron Quattro. So these things must be tanks, like the hybrids and the TDIs. That's why they want everything, and the Quattro system. That was their. This is when Audi came back into the picture, I'd like to say, because Audi like fell off the picture for a bit, and then after in the 2000s, late like the 2010s, Audi started to come out with all these nice looking cars, the LED lights.
Yeah,
and all
when
that.
the B8 B8 A4 came out.
Exactly. So this is the pinnacle, man. The Quattro was like known for the Le Mans racing. I remember I wanted an Audi because I knew that they destroyed in the Le Mans. Like they were non-stop in the Le Mans. And after Audi is another car that I want. It's Porsche that just takes over. It's literally just Porsche
today?
after for the rest until 2018. Toyota comes in with their hybrid, and Toyota has won ever since.
Toyota. Well, what a twist of events.
So if you want to know, if anybody wants to check out the car, it's a Toyota TS050 hybrid. So it must have some crazy technology.
Is it like a stripped down Camry or something like that?
No. It looks like the Audi cars that, you know, the long looking, like all the ones, like all these Le Mans cars look like now. Basically,
yeah, the Le Mans are all like very prototype type of car. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I just wanted to go over that just to give us a little background on who has been in this. So basically, Ferrari and Ford, after their little feud, Ford fell off and didn't really care. Yeah, and Ferrari stayed in it a bit and then pulled out and went into F1. And we all know what happened with F1 after that. So
yeah, they destroy.
So that's the story of basically
Well,
Ferrari.
Ford is not really racing. I know they put the Ford GT into
Yeah,
like,
they're not
some
racing.
competitions
Like
and stuff, but
it's not McLaren. It's not Porsche. It's not it's not in the same because they don't care. I feel it's not that they're not a good car. It's that they're like what, we'll make our performance cars and we're happy with our road performance cars and that's it, which is fine.
most companies don't go into racing anymore.
Yeah, it's only the purists. A lot of the purists. Like Toyota's a purist company too, eh?
Well, they've been around for a long time, right?
Yep. Usually that's it. It's the companies that have been around for a while that have the money to even invest in that because it costs a lot of money.
You know how I'm surprised it's not in there? Honda.
I was just gonna say I'm surprised Honda or Acura isn't in there, like NSX or something. I was actually surprised about that. Yeah, you're right. That was one thing.
Yeah, imagine an NSX as a race car. That'd be insane.
Insane. It's a well balanced car, like especially now with the hybrid systems. It's insane. So I want to know before like we wrap up and everything, who do you think won this little feud, this Ford versus Ferrari feud? Who would you say won it and why, or like who didn't? Like just elaborate a bit on that.
That's a good question, actually. Holy shit.
I didn't tell you on purpose. I didn't tell you.
I feel like out of the two, Ford came out like overall, like until now, I guess you could say like over their history, I feel like Ford has kind of like not evolved the most, but they definitely benefited from winning the Le Mans race because they brought in Carroll Shelby. So like if this feud didn't exist, or like if they didn't want to go into racing, Carroll Shelby would have never came into the picture.
It's true.
So all these Shelby cars would never exist. And for me, and I'm sure I can speak on Matt's behalf too, like Shelby cars are like our favorite muscle cars that kind of that you can buy. Like I would buy a Shelby over almost anything.
Oh, if it has to be like American muscle
or whatever.
Shelby,
yeah, if it's American
100%.
muscle, I'm buying Shelby 100%. There's no Camaro or Challenger that will
no chance
that will ever take its place.
No.
So I think Ford really benefited from this, but I mean Ferrari for sure. Like they still make the craziest exotic cars you can buy, but they were already like in that league of making crazy cars,
Yep. Well, $10 million in 1963 was like crazy amount.
Pretty insane. Yeah, exactly. But also the Mustang didn't exist before this.
Exactly.
Like I said, Shelby cars didn't exist. Ford Racing didn't exist. Ford
they were making ugly cars in ugly factories. That's what they were doing.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. That's it, right? So like.
It's true. That's true. That's a good point.
That event had to happen for us in 2021 to have a 700 horsepower.
Yeah.
Ford. You know what I mean? That we could go to the dealership and if you have 150K, because that's what they're going for right now, you could buy one. So. Yeah. I think Ford came out on top.
For me, I would say they both won in that exchange because of the same thing like you're saying. One won because of obviously, like you said, Ford. I'm talking about right now. Sorry. They developed the Ford GT. They brought in Shelby. Shelby was their performance division, and Shelby was like their off-brand performance division. And then they brought in their own Ford Racing division to have like the Mustang with cool parts and modifications and stuff from Ford. And then Shelby was like their wow factor, like if you wanted a crazy, like you said, a crazy Mustang, you go to you get a Shelby and you don't have to touch the car. Like there's nothing to do to the car besides change the tires, change the brakes, and change the oil. Like the car's perfect the way it is. But not to take anything away from Ford or Ferrari. Ferrari also benefited of that because he did what he wanted to do, right? He wanted to make performance cars and build on a racing team. That racing team is now in F1. It is one of the most prestigious teams in F1, which they don't screw around with. If something goes wrong on that team, or if someone is if someone's not doing their job there, you're getting fired, man. Like it's quick. It's Ferrari for that. So I think they got to where they wanted, and they made these road cars that I'm sure, like I said before, they saw the Ford GT being developed and put in production and being sold and being called, wow, this thing's a Ferrari killer, all kinds of stuff like that. I'm sure it burnt his ass a bit, Enzo, and said, you know what, I'm going to start making these road cars and making road cars that destroy Ford type of thing. You know what I mean? Like obviously you can't compare Ferrari and Ford besides the GT, but like a Mustang will never be the same as, let's say, in the eras, I don't know, a Maranello, a 355, anything like that. It's just, I think they both won, and I think it was a good thing for us, the car enthusiasts, because if there wasn't this, like you said, I don't think Ford or Ferrari would have been where they are today. I really don't. That's what I think. They both won because it gave them that little itch, that little oomph to go over that hill and say, you know what, I'm gonna get out of my comfort zone for Ford, and then Ferrari doing the same thing, getting out of their comfort zone and making these crazy road cars, but are made to like pristine details and like perfect stitching and the sound of their engines. Oh, you can't complain either way. You're just happy that it happened and that it came out this way and not, one went into like one bought out the other one and then didn't exist anymore and we never knew and it was the end of it. So I think that's what was good. I think we won. I think they both won because of that.
And it's a good thing that Ford didn't buy Ferrari, because I think like the 48
there wouldn't be Shelby
or the 512 there wouldn't be Shelby, and there wouldn't be. I really think that the Ferraris we know today, 360, 575, 355, 430s, 458s, 488s, F12s, whatever it is, even the older ones, if you look at the 250 GTOs or whatever it is, I feel like those cars wouldn't exist.
That's what I'm saying.
If Ford would have bought out
Exactly.
Ferrari.
Exactly. That's exactly what I mean. So, I think they both won off that. And I had one other question for the Ford versus Ferrari. What's yours, Ferrari or Ford? Who do you choose as your favorite?
If we're speaking on 1960 time,
that time.
Like
that time.
The Ford GT40 is a lot nicer than any Ferrari that existed then.
Mm-hmm.
But if we're talking now, like, don't get me wrong, GT500 is insane, but Ferrari does make crazy cars.
Ferrari's
obviously.
A Ferrari, right?
Yeah, exactly. But if we're talking like if we're talking 1965, like, do you give me the 330p or whatever it's called, or the GT40? I'm taking GT4. Like, you see a GT40 in the street. Like, I've never seen an old one. I've seen the new GTs, like the 2005
I've seen one old
version.
One old one. That's it. I had like a show.
Yeah, a GT40 is insane. I feel like GT40 gets more praise than a Ferrari of 1960.
Yeah, but I'm sure if you get an old Ferrari, that I don't know about that one.
Look, if you only give me a P3330, I'm not gonna complain. I swear to God, I'm not gonna complain.
Obviously.
But if you give me the choice, I'm gonna take the Golf livery GT40. I think. I don't know. There's something to it. I don't know.
Because I'm sure their first car was what, the 250 GTO, right? Was it that, or was it the Pininfarina? Was it that, something like that?
What? Pininfarina is a designer.
Okay, so 275 was the first one. That's what they called it. The 275.
The road car?
Yeah. It was the GTO, GTB.
Yeah, GTO. Yeah.
That car, man. Look, it's 1965. That's a sexy looking car, man. I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah. It's worth $35 million.
I know. It's like the Lamborghini. What's it called? The Mira? What is it? Mira?
Mira, yeah, Miras.
Those are insane. They look exactly. They're the same era, right? So they have the same look.
Yeah.
Damn.
My Mira, I think it's 70s or late 60s, early 70s.
Yeah, exactly. So this is late 60s.
Yeah, you're looking at $30 million right now for those cars. Even a GT40, try to find an original one.
No,
I don't even think there's any original ones, but
for sure. Then you start talking F40, this, that. I like this car, man. This car is a nice car. That's a mix of like a Corvette and like I don't know what, man, but it's a cool looking car. All right, guys. So that was our episode on Ferrari versus Ford. I just wanted to say one thing before we end this, guys. The giveaway is happening. Giovanni will post up a post this week or next week. We're just trying to find the perfect day. The reason why I'm saying this on the podcast is because we haven't had time. Me and Giovanni are both working opposite hours and going crazy and all that stuff. So we just wanted to let you guys know, the listeners and the watchers, the viewers, that we're having our giveaway soon. I will tell you what it is. I have it right here. Joe on the camera. Hopefully it's picking this up. I got this little box here from our beautiful friends at Unitronic. We got caps, we got the thing for the plate, the caps, we got Leonards, we got stickers, we got a whole bunch of stuff. So they give us a little giveaway. They give us a little, swagger pack, basically, to give away to one of our, fans. And we're going to be giving one of these t-shirts I'm wearing right now. Maybe two, depending on the person who wins. We'll see. We'll be talking with the person. We'll see exactly what we can do. And, so basically the giveaway is going to be exactly like the last giveaway. Right, Joe? It's going to be, you're going to have to like the picture, comment on it, follow both pages, all that good stuff. Anyways, we'll have all the details in our Instagram post. So check out the Instagram for that. Like I said, Unitronic, getunitronic.ca. Guys, if you don't know Unitronic, it's Unitronic, man.
You gotta go on that Google search and write Unitronic right now.
yeah, it's Unitronic, man. They're big. They're local. So we love working with local people. Obviously, as you guys know, we do all our podcasts with local people. So, guys, check them out. If you need a tune, basically, if you need parts, anything, they do all performance for Audi, Volkswagen, Porsche, the holy, the Trinity there, the basic Trinity. So basically, whatever you need, guys, they have. So keep your eyes open. We will be making that post. Like I said, there's a bunch of little things here that'll make you guys pretty happy. Even a t-shirt. I don't even have this stuff. We don't even have a cap. Like, I'm not wearing no cap. Giovanni doesn't have a cap. We don't have no caps and stuff. So it's just to give to the fans to say thank you that we reached our 500 followers. And we keep climbing, and hopefully, guys, we keep moving up, and we could keep doing. Hey, if we could do a giveaway a week or giveaway a month, man, why not? You know what I mean?
So I'll be posting the giveaway on Instagram, like Matt said. So all that all that beautiful Unitronic stuff is going to be up for giveaway, of course. This podcast is going to go up this week, and the giveaway should be going up a couple days after. Yeah,
I'll clip it. So, I'll make a little clip so I could post it on. We could post it on Instagram also to show what I was showing on camera and stuff.
So if you listen to this thing on Friday, you'll be a couple days in advance, so you'll know exactly when it's time to.
And also,
to check out the post.
I didn't tell Joe this, but I just thought of it. If you're listening to this, and you are going to enter into the giveaway, message or write in your tags, say that you heard it on the podcast or on YouTube, and we'll enter you twice because of that. Just because you've listened and you're a frequent listener. No, you're not just there, for the giveaways, because we know there's always people there just for that. So we'd want to thank the listeners. So let us know. Leave it in the message. Say I listened to it on the podcast. Listen to it on YouTube. We'll enter you twice. Okay.
I like that. That's a good idea.
Yeah. So. Guys, get ready. It's a cool giveaway, honestly. Me and Giovanni wanted half of the stuff in this box.
Take a couple things out of that bag.
Yeah, it's nothing. It's nothing like I was telling Giovanni. We didn't want to do anything crazy, like get oil and get all the sponsors that we could and make $1,000 giveaway. We want to do a little $100, $200 giveaway, and keep it at that, and then keep moving up. I was speaking to Liquid Molly again, so guys, keep an eye out for all these giveaways. And once again, we just wanted to say thank you. And guys, this was our episode on Ferrari versus Ford. Joe, if you have anything else to say it now.
Or hold your peace. No. Guys, thanks for watching episode 33. You'll find the Fula Podcast on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook at the Fula Podcast.
Don't forget to subscribe, guys.
Don't forget to subscribe. Hit the notification bell on YouTube. I always forget to say that.
Yeah. Don't forget to like our page. Follow us. All that beautiful stuff. The more you do, the more chances you have to winning in the giveaway, guys. So just do it as much as you can.
Guys, I'm Gio.
I'm Mas.
Peace.